But there
I've
is,
just been building in sort of pretty rubbish cases lately, like all the budgeting ones, and it makes me, oh, whenever I go back to my 780T, I'm just like, oh, this is so much better.
yeah. So well, the thing
Get
is,
sort of spoiled.
yeah. Well, with this month, I mean this month. Well, yeah, this month is the start of the month. This week we've got Kevin putting his microphone right up to his mouth.
Right up close.
Yeah, because I know people were complaining about the audio, so hopefully it's fixed this week. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. And okay, it says the stream is frozen. It's not getting any drop frames.
Nah, it looks good on my end. It
Alright,
seems
yeah.
like it's alright.
Okay, yeah. So the audio, hopefully the audio is good. Hopefully the video is good, and we should have an awesome show for you guys. And yeah. So basically, yeah, the Master Case 5. There's probably like a couple little things that I don't like with it, but overall, in terms of building in that case, it is really damn good. Like, you know, I guess because I've been building in like cheap secondhand cases. It's like a real different break for me. I'm like, oh wow, this fits, no hassles. Oh wow, this is no hassle. Oh, no hassle. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. So it was really good. So yeah, and the other case, yeah, got rid of it. Just I got to get rid of stuff, man. I've got like a little shoebox to work in here. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I know that feeling, man, with that HP Omen I have. It's just so huge. It's taking up all the space. But I had quite an interesting morning. You'll enjoy this. I woke up and you got dressed and everything.
Yeah.
And as I was sort of going about my morning, I realized there was something inside of my pants which I wasn't too pleased to feel. And I took them off and
We've discussed a few times, of course, that AMD's next-gen Vega GPUs are reportedly set to reveal to the public for the very first time at CES 2017 in January. Now, this information comes to multiple sources thanks to video cards. However, we don't know if it's regional, how many people are there, but we do know that the event is not public and nothing's leaked from the event so far, and we can safely assume that all the attendees have had to sign multiple NDAs. However, we can probably expect details from this event to come out in the weeks heading up towards CES in 2017. AMD are most likely showing off the Vega graphics processors to the media, and there's probably going to be a Zen public presentation, probably a briefing as well. So we can kind of expect to see solid information about Vega and potentially Zen come out in the weeks heading up to 2017, but of course we're going to be getting the full public reveal in January. Now, this shouldn't come as too much of a surprise, as you may have seen the reports back in October that AMD had a Vega event planned for December. So this lines up with everything we've been hearing previously. So what they're going to be talking about, well, obviously I don't know, I'm not there unfortunately, but let's kind of revisit what we have heard about Vega, because we have discussed pretty much all of the rumours about Vega and some of the things that have kind of been debunked about it as well. And it's reportedly going to deliver more than double the graphics horsepower, the 480, double the memory, and double memory bandwidth. It's also the first ever graphics card product to actually feature HBM2, which by itself means that Vega is going to be pretty damn impressive and probably quite expensive to match, as it's going to be high-end 4K, VR, and professional high-performance markets that they're targeting. What about the specs, though, I hear you ask? Well, the specs for the upcoming flagship Radeon graphics card and Fury X successor based on Vega 10 have been leaked on various things, including the leading engineer's LinkedIn page. And again, these are leaks, not confirmed. We should be hearing in January the actual specs, maybe even before then. But with that in mind, it's supposed to have 4096 next generation V9 cores and 12 teraflops of compute performance, which of course puts it pretty ahead of the 11 T-flops of the GTX Titan X. Now it's going to have 16 gigs of HBM2 and up to 1 terabyte of memory bandwidth, which is pretty crazy. However, Vega 11 is the smaller of the two, but it's still pretty beefy as it has 7 to 8 T-flops of compute and 8 gigs of HBM2, and it's designed to have the highest possible performance and a more limited thermal and power envelope. This could actually be used for high-end gaming and notebooks. So that's a bit of a revisit of everything that we've kind of had rumoured over the last few months. Of course, AMD haven't been shy about teasing Vega. They announced it earlier this year during the Capsaicin press event, and pretty much ever since then we've heard things come through the grapevine about the specs and various little tidbits about the new graphics cards that should be coming next year. To be honest, I was thinking of upgrading my graphics card as it's getting a bit old, it's aging a little bit, and Paul rightly pointed out, you might as well wait and at least see how much Vega is and what the specs of Vega are. As would you spend that money on a 1070 or whatever, or would you maybe get Vega, assuming it's not terribly expensive? Might very well be. So it's going to be interesting times, I feel like, in January, and of course we may even get a full leak of the specs in the run-up to that, but I'll be surprised if they're revealing everything about the card tonight. It's probably just like, hey, here's some confirmed stuff, and then the full reveal in January, but of course I could be completely wrong. So, we'll have to see whether or not the secrets will be let loose in the time between now and CES 2017. Probably, but nothing's leaked from the event so far, so we'll have to see. Regardless, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
The light protects me.
Yo guys, what is up? It's Firepound here, and today I'm going to be talking about why AMD's new Zen series will be what they promised. Now first of all, if you hear any music or any noise in the background, it's not my fault. I have people doing things in my house, but anyway, back to the topic. So for some reason you didn't already know, AMD is hopefully going to be releasing their new line of CPUs in 2017. I don't know why you wouldn't know this. Every single person ever has done a video on this at this point, but I'm going to be talking about why it will be what they promised. Now, like I said, I did a video on the new APUs, and so is everyone else, but if you want to see my video, click the card up in the top right now. You can watch that, and of course subscribe to me so you can see the new reveal video that's coming out around December 13th, and follow me on Twitter if you don't already so that you can be notified of when I upload and if I'm not going to upload or if I'm streaming or anything that day. Now, if we look at a poll done by Paul's Hardware that has 2,225 votes at the time of this recording, we can see that AMD's Zen CPU is 51% of what voters want and are hyped for in 2017. That means everything else, that's half of the PC enthusiasts, or whatever you want to call them, over half of them are ready for this AMD launch, and so I know it's a big thing and it's on everyone's mind. So first I would just like to talk a little bit about what Zen will do for the PC if what they say is true. Now obviously, just with the release of their graphics cards, it opens up the market. Right now the market is primarily Intel based, and that just means that AMD and any other, I think those are the only two, so there's not really any other CPU manufacturers, but AMD and those are pushed into second class. And that's bad, because obviously AMD has their great price to performance, and they do stand their own in the budget. I mean, AMD hasn't released any new CPUs in like 4 years, and it's ridiculous, so you can't really compare the new Intel platform or whatever to their old stuff. That just doesn't work. You have to compare from the time period. That's why they're releasing this, so they can get their feet back under themselves and go out. And if it is, great. Because right now, Intel has released their Skylake i5s, which perform, like, I think there's about a 10% increase from the Skylake to, from the Haswell to the Skylake. It's freaking ridiculous. Like, the biggest change to a gamer, other than about 2 to 3 FPS, is that Skylake uses, like, it's easier to overclock because it uses less power. That's the only difference, really, to a gamer. Now, if you're doing rendering, then you might get a little bit of a better performance, but generally, overall, for gamers, i5s are the same as they were last year. In fact, I'm running an i5 4690K in my system right now, and generally, I can pull the same as the new 6600K. Now, also, by opening up this market, we can obviously see reduced prices. Now, this happened when they released their graphics cards, such as the RX 480, and that kind of lineup. And also, we can see that when the Nvidia released the 1050 and the 1050 Ti, because it did bring down the price of both Nvidia and AMD GPUs a little bit. Maybe not a lot, but it'll kind of give you that level playing field of showing how overpriced the competitors are compared to like AMD, who I don't really know what AMD does, but they have way better price to performance ratios than anything Intel or Nvidia can ever do. So now we're going to talk about the main topic, which is what would happen if AMD was lying. Now everyone kind of has this in the back of their head, like, oh, are they serious or are they lying? Because, I mean, who knows, maybe they're pulling this out, maybe they got a hand-picked great CPU to perform when they did that live reveal. I mean, obviously we won't know until December 13th, but what if they are? So, right now they're basing their entire company on their words right now, and I mean their entire company. If this goes bad, right, they have it all hyped up and they have all these results promised, and if this goes bad, right, their whole entire company is just down the chute. They've wasted their company, right? And I'm pretty sure they know this. This is why they're not going to fail. We all expect what they're promising, obviously, because you don't promise somebody something you're not going to go through with. And I'm sure that if they do give us false, or they have been giving us false results and stuff, that obviously they're going to lose a huge percent of their community. And I'm not entirely sure about what size that is, but based on the poll I was talking about earlier done by Paul's Hardware, again, link in the description, we can see that over the half of the PC market will drop out of AMD probably. Now maybe not the full half of the percent, but a huge percent of their sales and their community and their go hard, never give up on Team Red will just drop. They'll be done. And it'll give them such a bad reputation that they'll probably lose their spot. And because of losing their spot, like I said, their company's going to get destroyed, but also Intel will take over their market again. And if they do this, obviously this is bad, because there's no competition and there's no reason to innovate. If you have nothing to compete against, there's no innovation, there's no reason to be better. You can just release the same thing you've done over and over again, which is my example of Haswell versus Skylake. Haswell performs extremely similar to Skylake, and we've seen anything new from AMD. And as a result of that, I feel that Intel's like, well, we can just wait for them to release theirs and give them the same crap we did last year with slightly better power management, and pass that off as the new CPU. Now, we have seen a difference in graphics cards, and I don't know if that is because AMD still did work on their graphics cards while the CPU line was silent, but I'm imagining that if AMD does drop, the same thing will happen with Nvidia, where it's basically the same thing since last year, and then it's just, well, it's the new thing, so we're going to give it to you for the same price or whatever. And for all of this, I do think they will come through. Now, a lot of people have doubts, and I know they still will even after it releases, and I'm personally not going to buy a single one until I've seen reviews on it and how they actually perform, because hello, I'm sitting here with all you guys waiting for this and seeing how it'll work. But if they did what their GPUs did, which a lot of people, all the Nvidia fanboys mainly, are saying that their GPUs suck, or that RX 480 doesn't even compare to the 970, or its 970 is barely better. Regardless of that, the RX 480 is still very, very, very decently priced compared to what is the now GTX 970. So even if it does not perform to that exact standard or whatever you have, it's still a great graphics card that's going to do you great in 1080p gaming, probably on Ultra in most games, and you can even get into some 1440p. I've seen tests and benchmarks and stuff done on that, and it looks beautiful. But even then, you're still saving like 200 plus bucks than going with the RX 480 over the 970, even if they are right next to each other. And obviously they don't want their company to crash, so why would they be lying to us? There's no reason that AMD would not want their company to keep going and keep the market open, because us as gamers and PC developers, or whatever you want to call us, we want to see the market spread open. We want to see new budget options. We all want to see this platform excel, do what it's meant to, what they've promised. And obviously AMD doesn't want Intel to win the battle, so they're going to keep producing just so they have a foothold in this whole thing. So if you've agreed with me or generally just like this video, please share it. It helps me a lot and I'll greatly appreciate it, especially if we can get this word out a little bit more. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
possibilities. I'm almost out of time. Let reading dragons lie.
Once upon a time. Right away.
That's my game. My hand is too full.
Side effects? No. Trust me. I bring life and hope.
I wield the power. I wonder. I am the Lord. I am your master. Extraordinary. Death to the pretenders. My fire be burst.
I have no time for games.
My shield for Argus!
It is finished. You win. You will regret this.
Tyrande versus Anduin! The light shall bring victory.
Can you one give me strength?
Job's done. Welcome to the exhibit. This document looks legally binding. Blessed be this funnel cake. Signed in blood. With one last
I bring life. Well played. Take this time to consider your past deeds.
Surrender your will to How much?
Well played. Take this time to consider your past deeds. Is someone injured?
I must remain hidden to remain free.
What these rules will.
Welcome to the exhibit.